So welcome back to the channel everyone, and in today's video I want to introduce you to my latest and biggest purchase ever. Last year you see me use these two, small white and big white, my biggest purchases ever. You know, they're not white anymore, I've got some camouflage on them, but they are the big and small white that you know, and I thought it was a nice gimmick, a nice twist to call my latest purchase mega wide. You know, what good is all this focal range if you can't use it? So I needed something that could get me out much more often and make use of all this focal range, and that's why I needed mega wide. So this is mega wide, the newest member of this channel, and a thing that's gonna give me unlimited possibilities of areas to reach and to use that valuable equipment. So let's get on the road and test this thing. So I know what you're thinking, it's just a car. Well, it is not a car. This thing is unlimited freedom. You know, freedom for me to go whenever I want, wherever I want, and freedom for my family to have a car available when I am doing events or out for photography. You know, sometimes I have multiple day events, and yeah, then my family is stuck at home because I need the car for that. So this car is much more valuable than just a car for me and my family. And I want to thank all of you, because this car is only possible to purchase for me due to all the support that you are giving me. You know, I can't afford to buy a car, so there is a little financial agreement on this car, but yeah, with all the selling of my books, with the ad incomes from this YouTube channel, yeah, the workshops, the photo fairs that I'm doing on weekends, you know, all this stuff together, all these small bits together add up really quickly, and it's enough for me to say I can afford a little bit of money every month to finance a car like this. So yeah, I hope it's going to be worth it. We're going to head out on the road across the Netherlands and Belgium to a place that we haven't visited before on this channel. So let's go to the Haller forest. So this forest is pretty well protected by forest maintenance and even some police around. So I don't think it's a smart move to walk into the forest for the best compositions. You know, we have to stay on the path, which limits things a little bit. So it's probably going to be more of a telephoto location than a wide angle one. But yeah, it's also the parking lots. The closest ones are all closed down, so I had to park at the furthest parking spot, which takes me about, I'm guessing, maybe 20-25 minutes to reach the first real bluebell fields. So yeah, let's hope we can get there a little bit faster. So but it's gonna take some effort. So it's such a strange forest. Just look on this side here. You can see there's absolutely not a single one of those bluebells here. Then if you turn the other way around, you've got this whole hill here, this whole section of the forest completely filled up with those bluebells. You know, it is fantastic. It's, yeah, it's much better than I thought it was. So I can see why this is a popular spot for photography. But yeah, it is quite a long walk from the parking lot just for a scouting trip. So maybe, yeah, maybe we can find something in the afternoon before I'm gonna get something to eat. We'll see. So my idea was to just do some scouting here in the afternoon. It's about 1 p.m. right now, but I'm already seeing a couple of very interesting shots due to that light. I don't know if you can see it here, but these green leaf trees here, these young leaves on these trees, they light up really vibrantly green. And with those bluebells in the bottom, I don't know if it's bluebells or we call them hyacinth. Don't know if it's the same, but it just looks amazing. And I'm just gonna zoom into one section. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. So it doesn't look like much from now, but if you look at this tree over here, when you use a large zoom, you eliminate all this green in the foreground and you're just zooming onto this section with those beautiful purple flowers and that green lit tree there. So I'm using the polarizer here just to make sure that those bright lit leaves of that green tree aren't blowing out in the highlights. So by using the polarizer, I reduce that contrast, that reflection, and the leaf turn green again. And that's what I'm exposing for here. So that's the first image in the middle of the day. I totally didn't expect that. Hopefully it works. I think I have to soften it a little bit in the edit. But yeah, quite a surprise. I'm going to go back to the car, going to have something to eat, and I will be back here later in the afternoon when the light is a little bit better. Hopefully it's not going to be cloudy. I don't think it's going to be cloudy today, so that's going to be lucky. But it is really, really busy here in the middle of the day. So hopefully at night, later in the afternoon or in the evening, it will be a little bit less crowded and better conditions for photography. But I'm already liking this shot, so yeah, look at this. So the conditions are already quite nice actually for some photography here. And just look at all those bluebells. Wow, much better than the last time I was here. I was about 2 weeks too early a couple of years ago, and there wasn't a single one of these blue colored bluebells. And that's why you want to be here, for these flowers. So let's see if we can find something along this scouting trip. So I found another really nice spot over here, and just gonna turn you around so I can talk to you what I am looking at. You see, this is a bit of an open area here in the front, so I'm only concentrating on this section back here. And you can see if you use a 16:9, you can get rid of those overexposed highlights, and you don't have this boring section here in the middle of the frame. So it's just about this section over here, which also has one of these green leafed trees in the middle there. And I'm using the polarizer again, so it is a bit tricky with the sun hood on, but luckily if you just put the camo on the other side, there's a little, how do you call it? A little window that you can open to turn the polarizer. If there's one advice that I can give you when you're using a polarizer, always turn it in the same way that you're screwing it on. If you turn it in the opposite way, sooner or later you're gonna turn it from the lens and it falls on the ground, it will be broken. So try to learn yourself, if you're working with if you're working with a polarizer, always turn it in the direction that you're screwing it on the lens, just for your own safety and your own wallet. You know, these things get crazy expensive these days. So kind of excited about this shot. Again, a middle of the day shot, and we're just gonna see what is gonna happen. But it's a fantastic place with so much potential. And while I'm, let me show you this image first. So this is the shot that I just took, keeping a low aperture, so I get a bit of a softer background, and I think that that's gonna work. So this is that shot. So what I wanted to tell you back there was that I'm not even looking on this scouting trip for compositions. Of course I'm looking for compositions now, but I'm not really looking for composition that I can go back to in the evening. You know, when the light changes, this forest will look completely different. So there's no use in doing that. What I am looking for here is which fields have the most dense capacity of these blue flowers. Because you can see I can walk through a section of that part of the forest and I will get back with absolutely 0 shots. And if I go through a section like this, I will have some fantastic opportunities. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for mainly at the moment. I'm starting to get quite hungry, so I think I skipped lunch because I was still in the car then. So yeah, I think it's time to go for lunch and then return here in about 2 hours from now to see if we can capture some fantastic shots. So I checked into the hotel, a very nice basic room, and yeah, I was just thinking on my way here, and you might have noticed it in the start of this video, that I'm not feeling really enthusiastic. It also has to do with the conditions that we're facing. You know, is it going to be worth it or not? But yeah, I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm feeling a little bit dampened, you know, and that is quite strange. I'm here with my new car, with some amazing equipment, walking through an amazing forest, living the life, but still it feels a bit weird, to put it mildly. So yeah, not quite sure what, but yeah, I'm just gonna clean myself up a little bit, then head out to eat, and then it's now, let's have a look, it's now about 4 o'clock, so if we go out for dinner early, so right now, then we have all the time until sunset to spend in the Haller forest, hopefully photographing some bluebells in nice conditions. So yeah, let's do that, and I'll see you back in the forest. So it's now a couple of hours later. I checked into the hotel, got something to eat, and now I'm back here, hopefully for some nice light at sunset. But unfortunately, some clouds have rolled in, which I don't really like, but you know, at least we got rid of those hard contrasts. So it's a bit softer light, dampened light, so it could be nice. So let's see what we can find tonight. So when I left the hotel, I just decided to put on my boots instead of my sneakers for a little more comfort while walking. And while changing my shoes, I noticed a tick walking on my hand. You know, I didn't even lay on the ground this afternoon. I only walked through this forest, and apparently I managed to get a tick on my shoes and then on my hand. So that was unfortunate. Luckily, it didn't suck in yet, so I could remove it quite easily. But yeah, you know, these things are my worst nightmare. So now I've got the feeling that I've got an itch like everywhere. So really, really annoying. But hopefully they will spare me. So I think I found another shot here, and it's really diffuse light at the moment. So just hoping for a break in the clouds for some beautiful golden light to get through, but at least it's a good way to practice a bit of composition. So first I was looking at this tree here, or this set of trees. You can see I want to include that green one there in the center. But then I was thinking maybe I should do it in portrait orientation, and I'll show the image next to me. You see, you get much more of the flowers in the foreground. My image is a little bit wider. But if you get lower, something like this, you can really emphasize that foreground of flowers, and then that tree on the top becomes sort of an extra element. So I think that looks kind of cool. And I took a couple of different shots, focusing on the tree and focusing on the flower. And let's see which one worked. So this is the shot. So I've taken a couple of interesting images, or interesting, I hope they're interesting. And right now I'm looking at a 1x1 that might be worth photographing. So let me try to show you. So for me it was all about this tree here. You can see with that beautiful green leaf on it, and everything before it is almost entirely covered with those bluebells, and then without any disturbing elements in it. And I was just thinking maybe a 1x1, so just imagine that right side and that left side a little bit cropped in. I think that makes a really nice minimalistic shot. If only there would have been a little light hitting that tree, that would be amazing. But yeah, I'm just looking up at the sun. I can see the sun coming through the clouds a little bit, but I'm not quite sure if it's gonna give that beautiful magical light today. So yeah, just gotta work with what we got. And this is it. So I was just checking the cloud radar to see if there are any open spots. I'm going to be here around sunrise, so it's sunset, sorry. So it's still about an hour and a half until sunset. But unfortunately, there isn't light predicted, but rain. So yeah, looks like this is going to be one of those failed mornings, more than failed days actually. Drove almost 3 hours to get not the right conditions. So that was it. I got soaked on my way back to the car. You know, after a day like this, a rain shower comes over. It was the perfect ending. You know, people always ask me if I am afraid of people copying my shots or my ideas, and I'm never afraid of that. And today is one of those perfect examples of why I'm not, because the chances that I encounter those conditions that I see online of some epic images of this area, they are just extremely, extremely small. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that my images are unique, most of them, due to the conditions that I'm finding them in. You know, and today wasn't a good day, you know, and I'm sitting here with a, yeah, how do you call that? I don't know the English word, but as if there's something stuck in my throat, you know. I'm making this video saying, hey, I'm living the life, and then I'm sitting here in a hotel room on my own after a not too great day, you know. But I've been feeling a bit dampened all day long, and I just couldn't put the finger on it, what it was, if it was the weather conditions. And this happens to me all the time that I am on my own out for photography. And if there's someone with me, like friends, or I have to do a multi-day photo fair somewhere with some people from OM system around, this problem doesn't occur. But from the moment that I am alone, yeah, I would almost call it homesick, you know. And yeah, it's a strange feeling that I think has everything to do with my medical condition. You know, I don't like to be alone, which sounds really strange if you know what I do. But most of the times I just go out for a couple of hours, get back home to my family, and spend the rest of the day with them. You know, I like to be around people. And when I'm out here on my own, yeah, I don't know, it makes me sad. That's the whole honest truth. And it is a shame that I already paid for this hotel room, because I was driving back to the hotel and I was thinking to myself, I'm willing to drive the 3 hour back home tonight in the dark just to get back tomorrow morning with my kids, even though there's a slight chance of better conditions here tomorrow. But yeah, I already paid for the room, so I gotta sit through it, I guess. But that's the feeling that I'm having, and that's what I want this video to end with. Yeah, you know, it isn't all as good as it looks, you know, and I don't know, maybe you experienced this also. Just let me know in the comments if it's only me facing this, but yeah, it sounds a bit strange maybe as an adult to feel this way. Yeah, strange. And I'm looking at this little screen now, and I noticed I put on a shirt that I got from my kids. You see, it's just me, my wife, and my 2 little boys on my chest. Let's stop the video here because this is gonna get a bit sentimental. But I hope to see you on the next video. Hopefully I'm lighting up a little bit back then or next time. And yeah, feeling a little bit more enthusiastic, maybe better conditions closer to home, who knows, maybe tomorrow morning with some better conditions. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how I feel about this day, this trip. Let me know in the comments, was it worth it? What's your experience? And I hope to see you on the next one. So thanks for watching, bye bye.